since I am absolutely obliterated, we're gonna talk about some of my favorite comics to read while high. Okay? If you a gardener, bro, if you like getting a little blaze before you read a comic book, we all know the experience. The book comes to life, my nigga. You can't hear certain VAs in your head. You know what I mean? Like to a point where you're thinking, how would these characters deliver these lines? Rereading some of these lines over in your head. I'm aware of, like, you got the hybrid, you got the sativa, you got the motherfucking indica. You know what I'm saying? It's the same way for comic books, bro. That's how I broke it down for y'all. If y'all get it, y'all get it. Sometimes you're not gonna want to read dark horror 24/7. So it's good to switch it up. My mood, a good example that I would like to bring up. If I'm sad, I like to read Superman. I notice when I'm a little down in my dumps, Superman tends to bring some hope and joy back to my life. Superman for all seasons. Superman in general is just honestly one of those my favorite characters of all time, bro. Trying to escape this reality as much as I possibly can. Fantasy and horror comic books have been my ideal go-to as of right now. When it comes to Image books, when it comes to Marvel and their fantasy stuff, DC, Dark Horse, Boom Studios, bro. Anything that can give me that peak fantasy as just exploring the realms of what possibly could be outside of just superheroes. And you know what I mean? Shout out to Sex Criminals. That shit is fire. That's getting the adaptation. Red Coat as well. You know what I mean? But right now, Hellboy has been on my fucking radar. Hellboy by Mike Mignola is something different, bro. And honestly, always loving Hellboy since some 2000s movies. He's always been a goat to me. You know what I'm saying? His actor, even when I'm reading, I can hear the VA. I can hear the actor. I think you just get a different perspective from the comic book versus the movie though. Like even in other reboots, I think the movies miss out on something that the comic books present on a different level, bro. Like the movies can't do what the comic book did, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. Especially in the earlier 2000s. But it came out around the time when Blade and The Crow and, you know what I mean, Resident Evil was dropping. X-Men with the black leather suits and the dark aesthetic, bro. That shit was running the scene right now, bro. Or running the scene at the time. Reading the comic book off that gas, I ain't never get chills like that reading a book before, bro. Like real ominous shit. I'm like, oh hell no. But I'm almost done Omni 1, super almost done. I've been reading and balancing a couple other things in fantasy, like truly insane. I think that's why I love fantasy so much, because looking at like 8 billion genies beneath the trees, there's so many books, bro, that's like, bro, how the fuck do you come up with that, bro? That is just so respectable. Like, I gotta hit you with some dap up, bro. I gotta dap you up. Like, how the fuck did you do that shit, man? Like Murder Falcon, it's just the concept will be so, I guess, quote unquote, simple on paper, but then it turned into something way more complicated, and it's like, yo, Meet the Trees. I don't even know. I think that's the only book that came out. I don't know if that's the only one in trade form, but yeah, I have it, so I'm gonna read that shit. I read issue 1. That's a sick bear. That's a sick bear. From issue 1, I can understand this motherfucker is built different, bro. And I'm not gonna lie, the duck kind of giving me Jade from Breaking Bad energy. I'm not. That doesn't deny what the fuck this bear did, bro. I used to watch the murder videos, bro. Like them darkest mystery TV. I used to watch them scary YouTube videos about motherfuckers in real life committing the most heinous crimes. So seeing this bear, I know technique. Not technique like that, brother, because that's, yeah, nah, you gonna have to lock that bear up. That's premeditated scattering parts. The fuck? I don't even know if I can show any panels from this shit, man. Shit was crazy. I'm looking at it, I'm like, god damn, shit. I'm looking at it like, damn, I don't want to look at it too hard, but like, who drew that? Billion Genies, for example, as well, bro. I mentioned that on my IG story, bro. That shit was peak. Murder Falcon as well. Kaiju monsters being powered by like heavy metal and shit, bro. Come to find out, the main character Jake is going through one of the most craziest things a human could ever go through, bro. And it pulls your heartstrings on a different level, bro. Sometimes you gotta reread that shit. Anything Daniel Warren Johnson. Sometimes you gotta reread that shit and really process who you are as a person. You know what I'm saying? Process who you are as a human being, what you stand for. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with Superman. His work reminds me of the hopeful feeling that you get reading Superman, bro. End up thinking about who you are as a person. Like, bro, this shit is peak. What he did with Transformers, Murder Falcon, Beta Ray Bill, bro. Oh my god, like he can't miss, bro. And the annual Batman shit. What he did with Transformers is something I haven't seen in a while when it comes to like the political aspect of some of the Autobots and Decepticons. Was like, bro, like I don't even want to do this shit, bro. Like, or even the Autobots, you find out that the Autobots themselves, bro, aren't necessarily the best people, bro. And especially the fact that some of them in the book blame Optimus, bro. Reading his shit cooked was insane. And it made me realize that, like, bro, I need to dive more into Transformers shit. So I read IDW, I'm reading some IDW Transformers, but even them diving into the political side of how real that shit is for them. It's insane to say that the Autobots and Decepticons actually made a truce at one point in the comic books, and it's like, dog, we've never seen that. I don't think I've ever seen that in a cartoon, live action. At the same time, Beta Ray Bill's book with Daniel Warren Johnson, beautiful, confident booster in terms of you've got so far, don't doubt yourself now. It's truly a thing of you don't need the greatest equipment. You know what I mean? There's a standard that that society tries to put people in, and you don't have to fit that. Just be yourself. And I think Beta Ray Bill went so far, but the lowest level of hell to get that sword to turn into the person that he wanted to be. You know what I mean? And he just didn't want to accept who he truly was. Honestly, it is honestly one of my favorite books of all fucking time, bro. But I gotta mention fucking Starman, bro. I gotta shout out my Discord community because this has to be the craziest put on. My James Robinson has to be so slept on. At the time, I was getting cooked in watching Stargirl, not knowing that the GOAT Jeff Johns wrote the fucking script, okay? Wrote the script and produced it. I'm like, whoa, it makes sense why this shit is kind of given a DCU comic booky. So I've been hyping up the show. I love Stargirl, bro. I've been hyping up the show crazy because I love it. So then me gassing up the show, led you guys to putting me onto the OG Starman, Jack fucking Knight. Swaggiest superhero that I have ever seen. A superhero just like us, bro. A young nigga really don't want this shit. He just a collect. He feels so transparent as a character, bro. It's kind of insane that you can easily put yourself in his shoes because it's not like he's running away from the situation. He doubts himself, but he still goes through with what he does, bro, which is insane. That fight and mental push to always still do it. Doubt yourself, but you still do it. Nigga, you still him. I be loving that shit because I be getting a little frizzled, bro, and noticing these little character developments and these little character arcs. Characters don't believe in themselves and then prove themselves wrong. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about, proving yourself wrong. When it comes to Starman, it was absolutely insane. He didn't want to be a hero in times of need, in times of trouble. He didn't back down from that shit, bro. If anything, he embraced it. He was like, yeah, I'm on that. I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, ah. And then the Starman legacy is so deep as well. There's so many versions of Starman. And the fact that Jeff Johns got inspired from the events of this book, I can see certain plot lines, certain story beats being taken and used in Stargirl. And I'm like, yo, oh my God. Even when OG Starman comes back with the jacket and the slick back hair, I don't know if that was a reference to Jack Knight or what, but now I keep hearing his VA as Jack Knight, especially a younger version. I used to watch the Community. I like his stuff in Community and just his sarcastic, bro. He's mad sarcastic. So reading Jack kind of gives that energy, especially if he was younger. I feel like he would do an amazing job as Jack Knight, bro. But at the same time, another banger comic book that I read off the Zaza, bro, had to have been that Booster fucking Gold, bro. New 52 Booster Gold was absolutely amazing. I didn't finish it, I'm like, but reading that was like watching DC Legends of Tomorrow. Time traveling, every episode's different. The humor, the comedic like relief, the serious plot twist at the same time, bro. Now I have to talk about the book that really got me back, that motivated me to make comic book creation content, if that makes any sense. I don't know why. Understanding that World's Finest at the time, at least for me, this was like maybe a year or 2 years ago, was probably one of my hands down favorite books of all. I just got done watching Superman and Lois. The time Superman rumors were coming out, trailers was getting released, and so rewatching the Batman, hearing Batman rumors, wanting to see that dynamic, you know what I'm saying, from Batman animated series to seeing them collab in like Superman's animated series and Justice League Unlimited. Their duo is so fascinating about Superman and Batman that reading World's Finest made me understand these two characters on a different level, bro. Superman and Batman, it's quite literally the best yin and yang situation of all time. With Batman and Superman, it's literally like a yin and yang. Batman has so many different ways of handling situations. He's still a good guy, but how he handles his situations are 10 times different, which is how Superman would handle his. And I think both of them understand that, and they both can respect getting the jobs done super differently. You know what I'm saying? Batman has his methods of, you know what I'm saying? It might be a little darker, it might be a little bit more questionable. Each other. Them boys is like brothers. You know what I'm saying? Batman and Superman are definitely both wary of each other, especially the first time that they meet. Put their minds together for a bigger cause. I mean, bro, Superman and Batman gotta be one of the coolest duos of all time, bro. Even seeing Batman calm Superman down sometimes, Superman being there for Batman, this shit was peak, bruh. They was cooking hard as hell. But I'm gonna be completely honest, those are some of my favorite comic books to read while gardening. If you guys missed any of the books that I did mention, you can go back, stop them. Maybe I'll put some of the books in the description. If I missed anything, please let me know in the comment section below, bruh. If like there's some books that I mentioned, or if there's some books that y'all want me to read, I'll get cooked and I'll read them Jones, make a review. Follow my Instagram, TikTok, where y'all can find these Jones, bro. Go enjoy some comic books, and I'll see y'all in the next one. But please join the Discord, bro. We yapping about comic books every day, dickhead.